How about them Cowboys? Angry Cowboys fan. Born to battle. Start on just means we never sell. America's team through thick and thin. When the star shines bright, that's when we win. Angry Cowboys fan.
What's going on, Cowboys Nation? And Angry Cowboys fans around the world. Y'all know who it is. It's your man, the Angry Cowboys Fan. And ever since the conclusion of the 2025 NFL regular season for our Dallas Cowboys, I really started thinking about the main question that I had about our defense during the 2025 season. That question being, was it the team or the scheme on the defensive side of the ball? Was it the message or the messenger? Well, Cowboys Nation, the more I thought about it, the more things started to come into focus for your man. Going back and looking at film and game recaps, I believe I found my answer to those questions. So, Angry Cowboys fans, won't y'all come and rock with your man as I do my best to try and answer those questions for y'all during this Raw and Uncut. Get ready for the Angry Cowboys fans, Raw and Uncut.
Man, keeping it real. They keep it real. That's real.
Well, Cowboys Nation, it's absolutely no secret that our Dallas Cowboys defense was hot garbage last year. It was a mess, Cowboys Nation. It was torture every single time we turned on the game. I even went to my first game at AT&T Stadium to witness this for myself in real time, Cowboys Nation. The defense was horrible. I remember after that home game loss and Jerry Jones went out and acquired Quinnen Williams before the trade deadline was up, the next 3 games, we ended up winning, Cowboys Nation. That was the games against the Raiders, the Eagles, and we finished it off with the Kansas City Chiefs. Cowboys Nation thought that the defense was back and we had the ability to run and make it to the playoffs. Well, against the Detroit Lions was when that all came crashing down. That the defense was the issue and it wasn't going to get any better no matter who you brought to this team. Well, Cowboys Nation, I recently went back and I watched some game recaps. I watched some film on the defense, remembering most of the players' year and how it went and where our defense was struggling. Well, stopping the run? Nah. The Dallas Cowboys defensive front had improved since attaining Quinnen Williams. It was our linebacking position and our secondary that was hurting us. Then I asked myself, why is said position groups hurting the Dallas Cowboys? And all I can do is keep going back to this name, Matt Eberflus. I remember watching a breakdown from Okoye Media debunking the narrative that Kenneth Murray Jr. was in the wrong gap assignment while also listening to the players' press conferences, the interviews, and the players' post on social media. Or when Trayvon Diggs got blamed for that whole cover 2 touchdown. The blown coverages, the missed assignments, shooting the wrong gaps. Now, was the players on the team the blame? Or was it the scheme that they were following, Cowboys Nation? Were they being told to do that? And I'm not saying that Kenneth Murray Jr. is the best linebacker to enter the NFL or if the Dallas Cowboys will even extend him. But I feel like he, as well as a few other players, got a raw deal with Matt Eberflus being the coach to the Dallas Cowboys defense last year. Also, when the defense was bad, it wasn't just 1 or 2 players that you could just point out and say, this is what's wrong with the defense. It was the entire squad minus the defensive tackle position once Quinnen Williams came and joined Kenny Clark and Osa Odighizuwa. If it's 1 or 2 players not getting it, then that's one thing, Cowboys Nation. But when a number of players are not succeeding in your scheme, it may be more than the players. It may be more like your scheme than it is the players. You couldn't tell me that it's the players' football IQs and that their IQs have fallen off a cliff somewhere. I've seen DaRon Bland be successful at the cornerback position. Granted, he had Micah Parsons rushing the quarterback and it makes it a little bit different, but not so much different that your talent falls off of a cliff. Miscommunication isn't an IQ situation in the NFL. It's a communication thing. And communication is just like discipline, Cowboys Nation. You either have it or you don't. And if you don't have it, it's the coach's responsibility to get you acclimated to it, or else they'll find someone else who can get acclimated to it. And another thing Cowboys Nation saw was the coach's inability to communicate with the players on the team. He damn sure didn't encourage feedback because remember, he doesn't like grits, Cowboys Nation. More and more talking heads and radio personalities commented on his unwillingness to change or just even adjust, whether it was in-game or in general. It got so bad that Brian Schottenheimer was caught yelling at Matt Eberflus on live television and wound up sending his ass up to the booth to finish out the season. That brings me to today, Cowboys Nation, and the way that Brian Schottenheimer and the Joneses went about attaining Christian Parker as the defensive coordinator and all the position coaches that he brought in and their backgrounds as well. They knew that Matt Eberflus didn't teach this defense shit last year. And when he was asked about it, he pretty much put it all on the players and their comprehension of his scheme. The time that Matt Eberflus did listen to his team, it helped the defense out, but we witnessed going back, and it was hurting us, Cowboys Nation. But needless to say, Brian Schottenheimer wants someone that can teach these young men the game of football from a defensive perspective and with a fundamentally sound foundation. And let's not act as if there's no players on this team to build on and make this defense competitive this year. That defensive front is solid, except for a prolific pass rusher that we can get either in free agency or in the draft. We could use a pickup at the linebacker position, but a part of me feels that good players didn't get a true crack at the good system last year. Logan Wilson, Maurice Leofau. I can see a true linebacking coach and a defensive coordinator getting some great play out of those two players, getting the best out of a Shamar James, scheming DeMarvion Overshown to get him more pressures on the quarterback. And another place we may be thin at is the safety position. A lot of people in Cowboys Nation want the Dallas Cowboys to allow Donovan Wilson to test free agency this offseason, so we would have to bring somebody in to take his place. As far as the cornerback position, I feel you hired Christian Parker to unlock something within the DBs on this team that are here already. With players like Deron Bland, Reddy Stewart, Siobhan Revel Jr., and if they decide to bring back Josh Butler, there's some good bones within this position group, Cowboys Nation. Could it stand a playmaker? Absolutely. What position group couldn't stand a playmaker? But right now, Cowboys Nation is saying that the Dallas Cowboys are in desperate need of a cornerback. I would allow Christian Parker to either choose from pick 20 or his pick in free agency to bring the Dallas Cowboys a quality cornerback. A couple free agents that I could think of off the top of the dome are Asante Samuel Jr., Russell Douglas, Nahshon Wright, and yes, I realized that he was a Dallas Cowboy before. You could also acquire Alante Taylor in free agency from the Saints. Or Christian Parker could bring Adoree Jackson from the Philadelphia Eagles to add to the cornerback room. There are options to strengthen this position group, Cowboys Nation, and those options don't have to be the biggest names in said position group. But I feel that the players that's going to be left on the Dallas Cowboys after free agency is said and done makes up a nice foundation for a teacher to just come in here and become a force multiplier themselves. To critique and give criticism where it is warranted. To show these men how to unlock a player they never knew existed, Cowboys Nation. I don't think that Christian Parker got the job by saying what he could do with players that are not currently on this team. He sold Jerry Jones on how he could get the best out of the players that are currently with the Dallas Cowboys. We spent draft picks on a couple of players, Cowboys Nation. It's about time that they get coached up and allow them to develop properly. But what I truly feel these guys were missing last year was a coach that could get the most out of the people that he has on his side of the ball. A coach that could see what he was working with and craft a strategy on how to implement said player into the game plan. They didn't have a coach that could meet them halfway because there was so much tension within that locker room, and I feel they weren't buying into what Matt Eberflus was selling. When you have one of your leaders on the defensive side of the ball posting a post that says, "Great things are coming, happy to be a Cowboy," after they fired the defensive coordinator, you know that something's amiss, Cowboys Nation, and it was more than the players on the team. It was the coach of the defense. But I also feel Matt Eberflus's game plan worked against what the cornerbacks were either good at or known for playing. They were forcing man corners into predominantly zone concepts, a bend but don't break defense that broke every single game. But real talk, Cowboys Nation, when a coach doesn't have the locker room behind him, it's a wrap. You can go ahead and get rid of that dude. I honestly believe that he lost the locker room in Week 9 after the Dallas Cowboys lost to the Arizona Cardinals. Quinnen Williams came to the team and gave the team a little bit of a jolt, but the mismanagement from Matt Eberflus shined right through all that, and the defense went back to being trash yet again. But you could also see glimmers of greatness during a few of those games, so you know that the players were fully capable if they had the right guidance. Now I believe they do, Cowboys Nation. But is the defensive side of the ball missing a few pieces? Yes, Cowboys Nation, it is. It's missing a premier pass rusher, a quality Mike linebacker, a cornerback, and another strong safety. After that, beefing up the depth pieces on both sides of the ball should be of importance. This is why it's so important to not trade George Pickens and sacrifice other draft compensations to the Raiders to get Max Crosby. It'll give you a prolific pass rusher on the defensive side of the ball, but it'll make your offense that much worse. If you go into the draft with George Pickens a part of the Dallas Cowboys, you won't have to spend one of those premier first-round picks on a player that could possibly take his place. You could use those picks to either bring Max Crosby to the Dallas Cowboys or spend both first-round picks on 2 defensive players coming out of the draft, like a safety or a linebacker. So with that being said, Cowboys Nation, I truly believe that you'll see a difference with the Dallas Cowboys defense in 2026. With who Jerry, Steven, and Brian Schottenheimer hired at the defensive coordinator position and who he's adding to his crew. A few of those coaches that were hired have experience coaching the defensive backs, and I feel you will see a more opportunistic style of defense from the Dallas Cowboys. Derek Ansley, the defensive backs and pass game coordinator, has a history in coaching defensive backs. The inside linebacker that they just acquired in Scott Simons has a history in coaching defensive backs. Christian Parker has years of experience in coaching defensive backs. We have the defensive backs to be able to benefit from what these coaches are going to be laying down come training camp. Not to mention Christian Parker having a relationship with a couple of Eagles players that could potentially follow him to Dallas. Those players being Reed Blankenship, Adoree Jackson, and Nakobe Dean. That helps your linebacking core as well as your safeties and your cornerback room, and they're actually affordable according to SpotTrack.com's market value. So, Cowboys Nation, I believe if the Dallas Cowboys either trade for, sign, or draft a premier pass rusher and can acquire key pieces through free agency, I believe this Dallas Cowboys defense will be back on track to aid the offense in making it to and having a deep playoff run. But with that being said, this has been your man, the Angry Cowboys Fan. Cowboys Nation, are you picking up what I'm laying down in this video? Do you see that the Dallas Cowboys have the bones to make a great defense? Y'all know how we do. We always talk about it in the comment section. If you're digging this content and you want to help the channel reach its current goal of 20,000 subscribers, drop a like on this video, share it with anybody that you know is a Dallas Cowboys fan, and if you're on your mobile device, make sure you hype this video. Doing so will help get the content out to even more Dallas Cowboys fans. They'll come over to the Angry Cowboys Fan YouTube channel and become Angry Cowboys fans themselves. And if you are DC for life and you want Jerry and Stephen Jones to max out the credit card to help this defense get great this year, hit that subscribe button. Hit the bell to be notified whenever I go live, release a video, podcast episode, or film breakdowns. You can catch the Madden 26 and College Football 26 gameplay on the other channel, the Angry Cowboys Fan Gaming Channel. I'll put the link to that as well as my gamer tag in the description. Come on over and get this smoke. But I know some fans think that we're closer to a rebuild than a retooling on the defensive side of the ball. I believe that we are a few pieces from this defense doing a complete 180 and becoming a top 16 defense in the league in 2026. It truly depends on who they bring to the Dallas Cowboys during free agency as well as the draft. But this has been your man, the Angry Cowboys Fan, and I'm out. But if you want more content, you can definitely go to this video right here. Or if you want the latest episode of the Angry Cowboys Fan podcast, you can go right here. But whatever you do, like, share, and subscribe to the channel, but remain DC for life.